We received another huge patch today with changes to everything from balance, competitive game options, a new hero release, and everything in between. I'll be going over the largest changes in my opinion and providing a quick TLDR. As always, if you want to read the full patch notes, they can be found on the Deadlock forums. Unfortunately, no new hero was added to the main roster, but we got a new hero added to the hero lab, Raven. Another really nice social change added is that muting a player now also silences map drawings, pings, and chat wheel messages. This is a great quality of life change that limits toxic player harassment a ton. They added an extra competitive option to matchmaking. This allows players to control what types of players are placed on their team. If you prefer to play with higher levels of coordination, communication, and competitiveness, then you can use this option to tell the matchmaker to build your team with like-minded allies. In lieu of ranked, it looks like they added this option to give players a more competitive matchmaking option. Also, the matchmaker will now prioritize each team having at least 2 frontliners. This should help a bit with still having no draft option available. The stats ability range and ability duration both have diminishing returns now. All heroes now have plus 0.5 sprint speed. Also, both sprint boots and enduring speed have been reduced from 2 sprint to 1.5 sprint. It looks like they're trying to nerf these items so boots aren't a compulsory item on every single hero. Carrying the urn now sets and limits your move speed to a fixed 13. This is a big change because it even includes things like Ivy airdrop. Quickly sneaking the urn across the map is not going to be quite as easy. Shooting a trooper on a zipline now causes other troopers near it on the zipline to dismount as well. This just seems like a nice quality of life change, to be honest. Sometimes trying to shoot down all the troopers off a zipline can be pretty frustrating, especially if you're playing a hero with low bullet velocity like Dynamo or Warden. They added a tick-based soul system that gives the bottom 2 net worth players on the team a small amount of souls per second. This seems like a solid addition to me, both for struggling teammates and for support players who may be receiving less soul farm and fall behind. They also severely limited the ability to abuse the soul orb duplication. I won't get into too much detail about it, but essentially it's just not worth doing anymore. Item changes. Basically every single tier 1 weapon item was nerfed. Basic mag, close quarters, headshot booster, high velocity mag, hollow point ward, monster rounds, rapid rounds, restorative shot, all were nerfed. There weren't many straight up buffs for weapon items, but the few that were buffed were active reload, point blank, toxic bullets, and titanic mag. Some other items that were slightly nerfed were fleet footwork, melee charge, and alchemical fire. Sharpshooter and spellslinger headshots were both changed. Also, just a nice quality of life change, alchemical fire now has an alternative desaturated variant for friendly versions. For tier 1 vitality items, extra stamina and healing right were both nerfed. Healing Nova and Enchanter's Barrier were also slightly nerfed. There were some changes to return fire. Instead of a spirit power, it gives HP regen and extra ammo. Metal skin was also changed. The duration was increased from 3.5 seconds to 4, but the stamina movement distance was reduced by 25%. Stamina movement distance just being how far you dash. Besides that, there were some small nerfs to Veil Walker and Debuff Remover. There were really only 2 clear buffs for vitality items, Restorative Locket and Majestic Leap. Out of the 3 categories, it seems like spirit items got the most clear buffs. This includes Withering Whip, Suppressor, Decay, Ethereal Shift, Silence Glyph, Mystic Slow, and Surge of Power. For nerfs, there was Slowing Hex, Rapid Recharge, Arcane Surge, and Refresher. And for changes, there was Infuser, Knockdown, and Diviner's Kevlar. Now for hero buffs and nerfs. Abrams and Bebop both seem to be changed slightly, more of a rebalance than a buff or a nerf. With the changes to Refresher and the increased Singularity cooldown, it seems like Dynamo was definitely nerfed a bit. Grey Talon was clearly buffed. His immobilizing trap was renamed Spirit Snare and changed quite a bit. It applies a cursed debuff now and can also be triggered by shooting it with Charged Shot. Also, you can now secure orbs with Charged Shot. Overall, it seems like Haze was changed, but it seems like it's leaning more towards a nerf. The way Sleep Dagger works was changed quite a bit. Infernus, I think, was definitely buffed. Flame Dash is now a charged ability, so now you can have up to 3 if you get Rapid Recharge. Also, the Afterburn Spirit Scaling was increased from 0.5 to 0.6. Ivy was changed quite a bit, but it seems like it's mainly a nerf. Kelvin was changed a bit. I would say it's a slight buff, but not much. The main changes being that Frozen Shelter is now created on key up, While the key is down, an outline of the area will be shown. Also, Frost Grenade now reduces stamina regeneration during the slow duration. It's hard to say whether Lady Geist was buffed or nerfed. They took away her T3 life drain silence, but they gave her an extra charge of it. That being said, they added a silence on her T3 soul exchange. Also, you can secure orbs with Malice now. Lash's Death Slam was changed quite a bit. I think it's overall a buff, primarily due to the 1 second impact area stun that he gets on T3. It seems like McGinnis wasn't really changed much, but they reduced her mini turret's fire rate, but increased the health per boon that you receive for your turrets. For Mirage, it looks like a bit of a buff. The fire scares were changed. There's no longer restriction from hitting the same target. Most notably though, your ultimate now grants your ally Traveler benefits. Mo&Krill was a clear buff. You can no longer be affected while in burrow by shoulder charge, which is huge. Also, Spectral Wall no longer hits you while you're in burrow. Also, Scorn is now instant instead of over 1 second. It looks like Paradox and Pocket were clearly nerfed. For Paradox, it was mainly her kinetic carbine that was nerfed. Then, Pocket's abilities were pretty much nerfed across the board. Seven was buffed quite a bit, I think. His ultimate Stormcloud now has a secondary ability, Lightning Strike. It's a one-time use AoE ability. You can target anywhere in your ultimate range, and after a 2-second delay, it releases a vertical lightning strike onto a 6-meter area, knocking enemies away and dealing damage. Shiv was pretty much unchanged. Vindicta was changed a bit, but mainly a nerf. Primarily nerfed were her Stake and Assassinate abilities. Viscous was also changed a bit, but it was mainly a nerf. Puddle Punch was made bigger but weaker, and Gooball damage spirit power scaling was reduced. Warden was changed. I'd say it's overall a nerf to his early game, but a buff to his late game. It's pretty much all about his last stand. It's hard to say whether Wraith was buffed or nerfed because her ultimate was pretty much changed entirely. Telekinesis now briefly lifts the enemy, then slams him down to the ground and leaves the target with 2.5 seconds of silence and disarm. Yamato had a pretty clear buff, primarily to her Shadow transformation, but now her Flying Strike T3 also lets you grapple to ally heroes. Overall, it seems like there are more changes than straight buffs or nerfs. It looks like the devs are trying to make cooldowns longer as well, and reduce the availability of cooldown reduction, which I believe should be healthy for the game overall. After all, this is a MOBA, not a hero shooter. There should be consequences for using your abilities. Right now, there isn't much reward for holding your ult for just the right time, because the high availability of CDR in the game pretty much takes away any consequences for just throwing it out there when it's up. Let me know what you guys think of this patch so far. I haven't played with it enough to really know what to think, but it seems like a good step in the right direction. If you guys like these quick patch TLDR videos, please be sure to like and sub. Or if you prefer longer form patch breakdown videos, please let me know. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching.